You're watching the Hero Network, where everyone's a hero. My name's Vega, and I'm sort of a comic news connoisseur. Just kidding. This weekend kicks off Comic-Con at home. But before we dive into that, I've got a little bit of cool news for you that kind of spread out throughout the week leading up to it. First off, Marvel Storyboards is a brand new series. The Walking Dead is finally going to be produced in full color, and two celebrities have launched their own comic book series. You excited yet? Let's dive right in. This week, Marvel Entertainment released Marvel Storyboards, which is a brand new series following Joe Quesada, who is obviously an EVP at Marvel Entertainment, as he goes around talking to various creators and talent about their experience bringing incredible storylines to life. Now, the series itself launched, at the time you're watching this, it would have been yesterday or the day before. I don't know, but it launched this week, and man, it is exciting. The first episode features Hugh Jackman talking a lot about his experience being Wolverine, working in the comics, working in the X-Men franchise, and just overall being a comic fan. And some of the upcoming guests include some really talented figures like Jillian Jacobs, Natalia Korodova-Buckley, Hugh Jackman, and Taboo. You know, of the Black Eyed Peas fame? No? Not ringing a bell? Whatever. Quesada has been involved in various roles with Marvel Entertainment over the past 20 years, so it's only easy to imagine that he has a ton of people that he can reach out to in his vast network to bring on board as guests, which explains the high-profile guests for Season 1 and the already planned Season 2. Definitely check it out using the link below, the Marvel Entertainment YouTube channel, or just go to marvel.com where you can check out the full series as well. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Now, for the first time ever, the Walking Dead comics are going to be produced in full color. That's right, we're going to be able to see the full spectrum of colors inside the Walking Dead series starting October 7th, with obviously the first issue, but the entire rest of the issues are on their way to follow. Now, this comes just in time as the series just wrapped, so fans of The Walking Dead can get really excited that they'll finally get to see all 193 issues in full color as opposed to black and white with occasional colored pages. The coloring is going to be done by Dave McCage, who has been pretty busy working on series like, X-Men or Star Wars, Adam Stranger, and even the recent Superman Rebirth. So it's a pretty exciting time to be a Walking Dead fan, even if the latest season has been impacted, just like all of the rest of the series and TV shows that we love, by the disaster we've now labeled 2020. So, either way, make sure you get your hands on these deluxe editions. They may end up being collector's items, or they may end up being a full-fledged, overly produced comic that's available everywhere. But either way, I think it'll be pretty exciting to see all of our Walking Dead favorite characters in full color when the comics hit this road in October later this year. Now, remember when I said that there would be two celebrities releasing some new comics this year? Well, here's the first one. Keanu Reeves has partnered with Matt Kind and Alessandro Vitti to bring us the new comic series Berserker, based around a man who's been alive for over 80,000 years, as he is part human and part son of a war god. Ringing any bells? Quite possibly. But it's a completely different thing. Now, it's set to be a 12-issue series, also releasing on October 7th, and it seems like it might be something interesting as our first issue takes us into the life of this unnamed man with not a ton of information who's working for the US government in a even exchange type of way. They tell him more about himself. He does the things that he does best, and guessing as the son of a god of war, it's probably war related. But we'll learn a little bit more when the comic series finally hits the bookshelves. Now, in a very preemptive strike, Netflix has already secured first looks at the comic for the potential of a television series, and not a bad move on their part. I mean, it is Keanu Reeves. So, are you excited for John Wick? Neo? Keanu Reeves to be releasing his first comic series? I know I am. Sound off in the comments below. And last but not least, everyone's favorite international DJ, Steve Aoki, also released a comic recently known as Neon Futures. That came out on July 13th, but what makes things really interesting is it's now available on the Webtoons platform. If you're not familiar with Webtoons, Webtoons is basically a digital platform where you get to experience comic books in a way like no other. Now, Neon Future has released fully on Webtoons in the vertical read format, which I'm guessing means you kind of just swipe up to read it. Haven't had a chance to check it out myself, but I do find it very interesting and ironic that a comic based on the future is releasing on a very future-forward platform. So big shout out to Webtoons. Now, are you ready for an exclusive interview with some other future-forward thinking people over at Constant Hustle Comics? I had the privilege of sitting down and having a quick chat about some of their titles, their series, and the Kickstarter production for their new series, Zero Gravity, by talking to the creator, founder, and CEO, Lawrence J. King. Take it away, V. All right, we're back. It's an episode of Hero Network News. I'm your host, Vega, and today I'm getting the opportunity to hang out with Mr. Lawrence J. King, founder and creator of Constant Hustle Comics out of Connecticut. My man, I appreciate you being here to talk to us. Tell the people who don't know a little bit more about what you do and why you love it.
So first, let me say I appreciate y'all even having me on here. I know there's like a sea of independent publishers you can have on. So I appreciate the few minutes that you're giving me. We appreciate the few minutes that you're giving us. Let me put it like that. I've been loving comics ever since. Well, I'm an old dude. I know I'm probably sure older than both of y'all. So I've been loving
That's
them
crazy.
since
You don't look it.
I used to get them off the racks in 7-Eleven, right by the register. So my dad, every time we went up to, buy whatever we were buying, he'd be like, go ahead, you can get a comic, you can get a comic. So next thing you know, I had stacks of them at home. And after reading for so long and being involved with the stories and really taking them personally, and, sometimes the only thing I would have to do would be to read or to look over comics. And when I was really young, I used to try to draw my own, to no great success at all, but I would still try that on myself. And as I got older, I started as a screenwriter. I'm a writer regardless. So I started as a screenwriter, and then myself and some other people I know made some short films. And then I saw this guy who started his own independent comic book label or studio. And Lonnie Lowe is his name. His character is Epic. And I bought the first issue and I burned through it, and I just asked him, and much respect to him for even giving me the time of day, but I asked him, how did you start? What did you do? Please tell me, because I want to do the same thing. And he gave me like a short little laundry list of things that I had to do in order to be able to, make it in the game. Probably expected me not to do any of it, since he gave me the list, and most people will stop right there. But I did it all and went back to him, and now here we are.
Here you are. You have, from what I saw on the site, you have 6 different lines with 2 or 3 in development right now.
Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our latest one that's in Kickstarter right now will make 6. Yes.
Okay. Cool. So tell us. I know that you wrote and created some of these comics. So tell us a little bit about like what the process was like creating your own comics and then signing them to your own production house.
So, and when you write independent movies, the big thing they tell you is to write what you know. So the first comic I wrote is called The Last Line, and it's based off my family. So there's myself, my wife, and my 3 kids are all part of the book. And it's about forgiveness, and it's about stepping into your destiny instead of running from it. And it's about how you can learn from your children, even though you think you know everything already.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the last line was about. And then Avery the Astonishing is after uh, all the amazing women, from my wife to my mom, that I know that break boundaries every day and refuse to be pigeonholed into one position or told what to do. That's what Avery the Astonishing about. And the astronauts chosen is really, I come from a deeply religious family, my father and my grandfather. So it takes the spin of God and angels and makes it completely different than what we're used to in our everyday lives.
See, I knew that book was gonna be crazy. When I saw that artwork on the website, I was like, I don't know what's going on in here, but I need it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's definitely out there, and it's gonna challenge how some people think about, I mean, and just to read it, of course, it's gonna challenge what people have been taught and things of that nature. And that's our plan. Our motto is we're gonna make fans of all of you, one amazing story at a time, and that's what we
oh,
try
that's
to
a good
do with
one.
everything we put out.
That's a good one. So let's dive a little bit more into the character development process, right? Like you said, you base a lot of the the characters on people you know. How does that
Hmm.
help you as far as deciding which directions the stories will go, how people interact in the stories, especially around like the concepts that you just said? Like you're talking about religion and space and like
Right,
combining concepts that are completely at war all the time.
right. Um, I tend to let the story organically go in the direction that it's going to go in. I don't intentionally uh, throw in something just because. I don't throw in topics because they're hot right now. I don't. Well, I should say we don't chase trends. That's we try to write timeless stories that, regardless of whatever era or wherever your geographical location or your background or anything, religion, color, creed, the story itself will reach out to you, and it will make you want to read more. We just want to
Okay.
affect people is what we want to do. We want people to read our stories and be blown away by them, or at least say, okay, I want to see what happens to them next. I want to see what goes on, at this point. How are they going to handle this? How are they going to handle that?
Yeah, and even just looking at the way that the artwork looks on the site, the mission statement, the people that you're working with, which I actually want to touch on now, as far as shifting gears a little bit more specifically to like the company as a whole. You have two business partners that came along for the ride. How did you guys? You talked a little bit about it before, but how did that actually come to life? Like, how did you manage to find people that you could share a vision with, enjoy working with? I'm sure there's ups and downs, but you could come together and really hustle to make things work.
Well, I knew Elijah Manning is our branding manager, and I've known Elijah for years. And it has uh, always been told to me that you want to put people in there where they're most natural at. Elijah is the face of the company because he is the most comfortable being there. He is, if you knew the guy, he's amazing at drawing you in to whatever he's doing. He could be selling grass on the side of the road, but if you give him 2 minutes to talk to you, you're going to want to realize why that grass he's selling is different than the grass that anybody else is selling. He's
And
that
that's critical.
magnetic.
You need
Yeah,
someone on your team like that to keep you from becoming a secret. You know what I mean? You want to
right,
be not just great with stories, but you want people to read the great stories. So you need that. That's
right.
amazing.
So yeah, he's our face, and we have a YouTube channel, and he's done all the videos on the YouTube channel. And whenever he could come out to Comic Cons, whenever they start up again, hopefully soon, uh, he comes out to those with us, and he's that person. He's just magnetic, and he draws people in. Because I'm not big on. I mean, I've had to become that way doing Comic Cons. I don't know how many you've been involved in doing, or whatever the case may be, but uh, 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 engagement in your audience is the difference between you, you know, selling 2 copies of your book or selling every copy you brought with you of your book, and not
Exactly.
having a sales pitch, but just letting them see the enthusiasm that you have for something that you created will bring most people into the fold by itself. And I've
Exactly.
learned a lot of that.
I've always believed that myself. Like your best way to market is to just talk. You know what I mean? Just talk to
Right,
people. Like the more people
right,
you talk to, your numbers just go up exponentially because people are talking to you.
right,
And in that
right.
conversation, you can tell them more about what you do and everything. So that's yeah, no, that's a critical part of it for sure.
Now, Charles Simpson, I originally talked to him about, I saw some of his artwork, and his artwork is unique. Charles is a true, you can get a bunch of people that draw, right? There's a bunch of people out there who will pencil something for you that looks great, but there's very few that look unique. That no
Mm-hmm.
matter what they draw, they could draw a trash can, a car, or a superhero. You're always gonna be able to tell that that is who drew that.
Mm-hmm.
That is Charles Simpson. He is that type of artist that he sets himself aside from everyone. So originally I talked to him about designing our characters for the last line. Once we designed them all, I asked him, I said, man, I'm getting this thing off the ground. It's getting moving. I'm putting everything together. What do you think about becoming a part of it? And to be honest with you, once I told him what we were planning on doing and how we planned on structuring it together, it really didn't take much convincing. It really didn't. Charles saw the
I
vision
mean,
in it and was willing to take a chance with me, just like I was willing to take a chance with him, and Elijah the same thing. So neither one of them really
and
had
I
to
can
be
say
convinced.
confidently, he definitely took the right chance because with 20 days to go, his new comic under the Constant Hustle imprint is already at $3,800 back on a total goal of 2,500 with 20 days to go.
Yeah,
So you guys
yeah,
got damn near the whole month left, and he's already
yeah,
crushed the
he
goal.
was,
Oh,
he was, uh, he was close to being funded within the first 24 hours. But
wow.
once again, that's all on his vision and his ability. We spread. I mean, we as a group, there's at least another 3 or 4 more creators in Constant Hustle Comics, and there's we have marketing people and we have editors. As a group, we all get together and spread the word on the Kickstarters. We all go online and spread the word, telling everybody this is what we're doing. We say we're going to be at this con. We do everything as a collective because you can do a lot more together than you could ever do apart. We know that sooner or later it's going to be everybody else's turn. So Charles' turn is now. In a few months, the gentleman you not long ago, Dave Welch, is going to have
Yes,
another Kickstarter that's going to come up.
that's right.
So he's
Carnivore
going to
is
have another
under the
Kickstarter that comes
Constant
up.
Hustle imprint.
Yeah, so he's going to have
Yes.
another one that comes up, and we're going to back him. And then one of the other creators that we have is going to have one that comes up. So the idea is that we collectively get together and do everything to help one another. That's it. I mean, it's not really a rocket science type of thing. The reason why this is working the way it is, it's just us looking out for each other. That's all. It's us looking out for each other and knowing that we all are storytellers and we all are true artists. And the only thing we want to do is be able to affect people with the stories that we tell. That's it.
And that's a powerful purpose behind what you guys are doing, especially as a comic book company, because a lot of people overlook comic books as an important part of media. You know, like they're a very important part of our entertainment world, of our media. Most of the movies people love at this point are based on comic books in some way, shape, or form. So it's just to be at the forefront of the grassroots movement of a comic imprint must feel amazing. What is it like knowing the imprints and the major brands that you're up against, even at the indie level, especially being someone of color who is, you know, typically pushed very far away from the comic world as a whole?
So, to be honest with you, we haven't had any real opposition from anyone. I mean, you're gonna get your people who feel that they should be ahead of you because they've been in the game longer than you, or you're gonna get your people with bad attitudes or delusions of grandeur that really shouldn't have any delusions of grandeur. But
Right.
I mean, our track record speaks for itself. We've had this is our 5th Kickstarter campaign for all our projects. All of them have been funded. All the ones under our banner by ourselves have all been funded, and not just funded, but funded and then some.
Right.
Every time we go to a Comic-Con, we are a big part of the people who are selling books at that Comic-Con. Not because we're the biggest, but because people can actually see the idea we have is you may know we're small because you know the company, but you won't be able to tell it by the quality of the content.
Right.
So when you come to our table, we have artists that have worked for IDW, or we have colorists that color for DC, or we have some artists that have worked for Marvel that do covers for us, or that do other work for us, or do posters and things like that for us. Because you're not going to be able to look at us and say, oh, well, these guys, you can tell they're in there, you can tell they just started out. No.
Right.
We're better than that. We're definitely better than that.
That's amazing. And it's so exciting to me because, like I said, I got the chance to look at like some of the titles. I'm definitely gonna order a couple of them. Super interested in the astronaut one for sure, and the AV the Avengers one as well. Because again, like I'm very big on, it takes a while for me to get connected to a female lead in a lot of media, but when I find one, I'm super connected. So I definitely understand that.
Right.
So right now the big focus is around Zero Gravity, which again, the art style is mind blowing. I was just with a friend and I was showing her like, yo, listen, look at this artwork. These are the people I'm talking to in a little bit. This is crazy.
Yeah, Charles. And this book has been in production for him for years. He's been really working on this for a while. And when we first got together, it was still on the back burner for him. And he showed me a few pages, and I was like, man, there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing this. There's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't all get behind what you're doing and get the things done that you can't get done by yourself. And now Here we are, and it's going to be amazing. And it's not just the one book. It's going to be, it's going to be multiple. This is just the one that's out right now.
Right. Yeah, man, it's super exciting. So I definitely want to thank you again for coming on. Before you go, I got to ask you the most important question for every interview. Top 5 superheroes, who are they?
Okay, my top 5. Okay, let's see. Do they have to be superheroes?
Whatever you consider a hero. Or villains, or villains. Top 5 comic book characters in general.
Okay. So, and this is not by the power they possess, it's just by my connection to the character. Number 5 would probably be Dr. Doom.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Number 5 would be Dr. Doom.
Right out.
Number 4 would probably be Black Panther.
Yeah.
Number 3 would be Magneto. Number 2, Oh man, I forgot to ask you. Can I say mine?
I was waiting for that. Definitely hit us with one of your favorites. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Well then, number 2 would be Boss Lady from The Last Line, based after my wife. And once you see, you'll know why. And then number 1 would more than likely be Icon.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good list. Magneto was definitely a shocker because I had just talked about, like, you remember the first X-Men movie, the first time we see Magneto really use his power when he's breaking out of the prison and he turns dude's blood into pet. Man, that was one of the craziest movies of my moments of my life. Movie moments, that was hands down one of the craziest.
Now, I like. I can't think of the actor's name right now that we're talking about. But I tell you what, even though a lot of people didn't like the last X-Men movie, the Dark Phoenix one,
Yeah.
when Magneto was on the train and the woman was walking towards him and he was making all those guns come off the side racks and was emptying them out, and she's, oh my
Bugging.
God, you don't really
Yo.
get much more boss than that because he didn't have to
It's,
move at all.
man, he has to do anything. It was crazy. Like those moments really showed me how
Oh,
powerful Magneto really is. Like,
yes, yes,
it's crazy, crazy.
yeah.
Well, I definitely want to thank you for sharing this time with us. Let the people know how else they can stay in touch, how they can follow Constant Hustle Comics. What's the best way to order some books and support the Kickstarter? Let them have it.
Okay. If you go to facebook.com/Constant Hustle Comics, there is the Kickstarter campaign for Zero Gravity is all over the page. So there's no way you won't be able to see that. You can go to constanthustlecomics.com. Once again, it's www.constanthustlecomics.com, and go to the store, and all the books are in there. The Last Line, Avery the Astonishing, The Astronaut's Chosen, Carnivore, all those are in there and ready to go. There's digital and there's physical of a few of them, not physical of all of them yet. And there's also what we have is a mini issue and preview that you can get for free when you go there.
Okay.
So you go there. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We have a YouTube page. Just put in Constant Hustle Comics. We're everywhere, baby. We're everywhere. We're always moving. We're everywhere.
That's it. That's how we like to hear it. Keep that hustle going. That's constanthustlecomics.com, all spelled correctly. So make sure you go on there and check out what they got. Definitely, at the very least, download the preview comic. It's free. You have nothing to lose. And if you fall in love with any of the characters, definitely, show support. I know I'm going to be hopping on there later tonight and definitely ordering.
If you have the physical of Astronaut's Chosen, because that artwork, man, I'm telling you, I fell in love with that just off the cover. I was like, I need this. So I'm definitely
Thank you
in
so
there.
much, brother.
Thank you again for joining us.
No problem.
Pleasure.
Thank you for having me, man. We really appreciate it.
Of course, our pleasure here on the Hero Network, where everyone's a hero. So we'll send it back to you, Vega.
Wow, that was an incredible interview. I really hope everyone has an opportunity to at least check out the Kickstarter for Zero Gravity, and if not, purchase what looks like it might be in my running for favorite comics pretty soon, Astronaut's Chosen, or any of the other series available through Constant Hustle Comics. Support, support, support. It goes a really long way. Now, as always, thank you for tuning into the Hero Network, where everyone's a hero. And remember, like, comment, subscribe, and tell a friend to follow Hero Network on Hero Network TV. I'm your host, Vega. You can follow me at WhatUpVega. And I really hope you guys had as much fun as I plan to have when I go and play Ghost of Tsushima. Peace.